beat up my roommate. They sent me to the hole. They heard the noise. If you don't know what you're doing, you're going to lose your life.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Bounce Back Podcast. I'm your host, B. Luke. I got a special guest with me today. Why don't you introduce yourself, tell the people your name, where you're from, and a little bit about yourself.
Well, everybody know me. I'm from Boston, Academy Homes, Lightside Yank. You know, if you know me on the entertainment side, it's DJ One Justice, Major Justice ENT.
Okay, so talk about Major Justice ENT.
Major Justice ENT is basically it's just an entertainment entity. I'm a DJ along with my partner, DJ Mike Major. We came together, man, met each other at work over a cigarette break and found out we were both DJs, and then here we are 6-7 years later. It's off to the races. We're doing all right.
It's crazy how things like that happen, almost like it's meant to be.
Divine intervention, that's what they call it.
Yeah, you believe in that?
Absolutely. I listen to the universe.
You said you've been doing it for what, 6 years now?
No. Him and I have been partners for about 6 years.
So you already had that going on?
Nah.
Okay.
What happened was he was with another organization, you know, going through hard times. You know what I'm saying? My name is One Justice. It's my attribute. His name is DJ Mike Major. So it was like, bro, we got this in common. Let's just put it together. You Mike Major, I'm One Justice, Major Justice Entertainment. Let's start playing with this thing.
And how long have you been DJing total?
I got about 10, 11 years in the game.
Why did you want to DJ?
Why? Because I've always been that. I've always been that. Like, we can go back years. I'm always curating something. Like, I was a kid back in the day, you know what I'm saying, coming through with the car, playing, you know what I'm saying, bumping the latest shit that no one else had, you know what I'm saying, blasting music out my window. It's just, with me, I was too enthralled in the streets. And I never, you know what I'm saying, really just honed in on that craft. Never bought equipment, and that's what that was that. So I just really started taking this serious about 10 years ago. Okay. Started investing in equipment, you know what I'm saying, teaching myself, you know, watching some YouTube videos and shit like that, and the shit just came natural to me. Nice.
Talk about the importance of having that partner in that team dynamic as opposed to just kind of doing like a one-man show.
You can't win by yourself. It's just a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Like, everybody can attempt to be a self-contained unit, but at the end of the day, we all need somebody. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And then him and I, my homie, like, yo, we just mesh like that. Like, we feed off each other on some Jada and Kiss type shit.
Right.
Like,
absolutely.
We feed off each other like that when we're in that space. So
what's the best part?
Making people feel good. That's the best part. Like, curating the energy. Like, yo, I'm in the space and been in this space for a long time. It's like, yo, I don't care about being part of the party. I am the party. Major Justice, we are the party. You understand what I'm saying? We enjoy making people feel good.
Where can people find you if they want to book you or anything like that?
You can catch me on Facebook, John Justice Jones, or you can catch me on IG. Those are my two platforms I use the most. Not crazy on Snapchat, but on IG is Lightside Yank ATH.
So you were just telling me before we went on air that you've been out for a while out of...
Yeah,
your last bid was a while ago. So talk about how long it's been.
I got locked up in 2001. That was my second bid. And I wrapped that up finally in like 2008. So here we are, 16, 17 years later. No re-entries in court, nothing.
Nice.
Nothing.
What do you think is like the biggest part of that? You staying out and not getting in trouble?
Changing my mentality. So, like I said, my last one was my state bid, right? I ended up catching a 4 to 5. Guns and drugs charge, whatever. Paroled on that. 8 days later, I was back. And the ironic thing about it was 8 days and 8 bags of weed. Like, yo, the numbers was crazy, bro. Boom.
Numbers be talking to you, bro.
Got a situation with the police. They ran down on me. I ran. They caught me on the bully. Everybody know the bullies, Washington Park, the Boulevard. Caught me on the bully, beat me up, whatever, locked me up. But what led me to that was when I came home and I seen the turmoil my household was in, you know what I'm saying, my kid's mother at the time, and you know, it plays a lot on you mentally. It's like, yo, I didn't leave this household in shambles. You know what I'm saying? Then you really start to see the effect that the man of the house being gone has on the woman and the children. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? And it just wasn't up to my standard.
Okay.
So again, The same day. 8 days later, place a call, yo, drop me off something. I'm outside. It didn't even work out.
Well, I'm glad you brought up the whole household thing and your expectations for it. What was your household like growing up?
I didn't have a bad household.
Okay.
If you want to start from the beginning, so I like to consider myself from the best of two hoods. I was born in Mission Hill Projects.
Okay.
About between 6 or 7, my mother finally got her own place, and that's when we ended up in academy. And that's, that's my heart. That's my love. It's my first love. My hood is my love. Like, that's what it became to me.
Okay.
So that's why I say, like, I feel like I'm from the best of both hoods. I still got family there, can go down there anytime I want, really see anybody. I see anybody that's from there. It's all love, you know what I'm saying? We all get along.
And those are both parts of Roxbury?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But what was going on as far as in the house, as far as like siblings? Did you have brothers and sisters?
Yeah,
were both parents around?
2 older siblings.
Okay.
My brother, he's the oldest, and then my sister, and then myself, and then there's a younger brother, and then 2 other twins after him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kind of a big family. Okay.
Yeah, we definitely got a big family. I mean, we was the average people.
Yep.
Project people. You know how it is, project living.
Yep.
It's just really a community.
Did you have your father around?
Nah.
Okay.
Nah.
Was that just never a thing, or did he leave at some point?
I'm not even gonna say that was never a thing, because my pops was a G. Like, everybody that know me, know my father. He was a G. He was definitely a G. But his life was drugs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm a 70s baby, so his choice of drug was, cocaine, crack, shooting dope. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. So he was definitely a G. Everybody know him. Rest in peace, Subby.
Rest in peace to you. I'm still blessed to have both my parents, man. So yeah, for sure, rest in peace. Did you have family members or even maybe your pops at one point? Because what comes with that life too, like getting locked up, doing time when you were growing up?
Absolutely. Man, my life, like my grandmother was a madam type thing. Like, that's the kind of cloth I come from. My grandmother was a madam. Pops was out there pimping, doing all, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I come from that.
Growing up, it wasn't more a matter of if, but when? Is that fair to say? Coming up is
looking at it now, yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Looking at it now, yeah, it is.
Okay.
Like, I grew up in that era. Like, my pops, and I didn't even know it. Like, this dude was grooming me. He was grooming me. Like, he would send me out with a pack, like brown paper bag type thing. Like, yo, go to this building, don't look in the bag, type shit. You know what I'm saying? You gonna get another bag, just bring it back. Yeah, I was. Yeah,
how did it feel to have that kind of sense of responsibility? Did you feel like
you don't feel like it's a sense of responsibility? You just doing what your father told you to do. You understand what I'm saying? I didn't know nothing else except for when I got back and brought him the next bag. I was the kid at the ice cream truck with all the money. Yeah. That's all I knew.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? I grew up in that era. I'm 47 years old, bro. Like, I remember, you know what I mean? I told people this all the time. Like, yo, I was that kid in the back of the Cadillac with my father and about 5 hoes. And him telling them, yo, don't put your dick sucking lips on my motherfucking son. I grew up in that.
Okay.
And he meant it.
So moving from Mission to Academy, are you changing schools and stuff as well?
Absolutely.
And what kind of adapting did you have to do with that? Was that an easy transition?
Yeah, you don't even feel that young. Not to me, I didn't even feel that young. It was like no anxieties or nothing like that. Okay. It was just another neighborhood. You just went outside and you played. And everybody was friends.
There, right?
Yeah.
How were you as a student growing up?
I was a good student, man.
Good student?
Up until, I want to say, middle school.
Okay.
That's when I really started acting up, like in middle school. Not even really acting up, but just getting caught up in things.
So what kind of things were you getting caught up in middle school? Detention, suspended?
Yeah, we were fighting in school.
Fighting?
You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that.
Okay.
Like, I got accused for being a racist one time, like, but I'm not and never have been.
Right.
I punched this kid. He was a white kid. I punched him in the face. He had braces, so I tore his mouth up kind of crazy. You know what I'm saying? And they was like, oh, you're being abusive. It's kind of racist. I said, nah, it wasn't that. It's like, at the end of the day, he called me the N-word.
So if anything, he was
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I just punched him. I never had a problem with him or any other white person ever in my life.
Was that a common thing in school around that era?
Nah,
No?
not really.
Just an isolated incident?
Nah, not really. Like, my era, we're some years behind the era that really dealt with the racism. I know you probably heard those stories before,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? I would say guys maybe like 55 plus dealt with that when all the busing started coming in and segregating the schools in Boston. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, sometimes with stuff like that too, I feel like those people have kids, right? So they're kind of still might have those same values, and then the kid brings it to school, you know. So not too many generations removed from that, but
you learn that in the household.
Yeah, exactly.
That's where that comes from.
What about high school? What happens in high school? Where do you go to high school?
High school,
did you graduate?
I didn't graduate.
Okay.
I got me a good enough diploma, GED,
Okay.
right out of South Bay. So that count for something.
Absolutely.
Nah, I went to English. Like, it was like one of the neighborhood schools. Like, if you lived around my way, you went to one of three schools in high school. You either went to English, Eastie, or Westie. A couple people went to Charlestown, but those are the three primary schools. I was bound to go to English anyway because my brothers and sisters before me went to JP High. They used to call it Junkie's Paradise back then.
Jeez.
Yo, it was a high school. It was crazy. Like, I remember my sister taking me up to school. You know what I'm saying? Because she used to be a cheerleader, you know, watch the football games. So it was like, kind of like tradition. So if it never changed into English and stayed JP, I would have been there anyway.
Gotcha.
So
what happens? You dropped out, or did you start getting locked up?
Jail.
Jail?
I didn't drop out.
Okay.
I didn't drop out.
What about juvenile? You end up getting in any juvenile cases?
I never did no juvenile biz. I did like weekends in juvie type thing.
But you caught a couple cases.
Yeah.
If you're doing the weekend here and there.
Yeah. I never stretched out in juvie or nothing like that. I skipped all that. Went straight to the Bay.
Okay. Did you end up on juvenile probation at any point?
Nope.
Okay.
None of that. I didn't start catching probation until I was an adult.
An adult. How long till when you're technically an adult are you catching adult cases? 18 years old right away almost?
17.
17?
17. So if you want to get into that, my first felony was trafficking in the school zone over 31.
Okay.
That was like 1996. So I was right on the cusp of when they just changed the laws and it became the school zone. You see what I'm saying? So I caught that case, boom, in 1993. Took me 2 years fighting that case. In between that time, catching a bunch of little stupid lockups, things like that. Record wasn't too crazy.
Made bail, fighting it from the street, and then you still catching cases?
Did I make bail? I got blessed back then. Like, because it was like, again, it was like my first felony. My bail for over 31 grams of fucking crack in the school zone was only $500. Let me get caught with that same thing right now. It's over for me.
Yeah, that's fair to say.
Yeah, it's over for me.
Out on bail, you're catching cases. I mean, what happens? They lock you up? They revoke your bail or anything like that?
Nah, I never got caught up that heavy. It wasn't like I was catching like cases on cases on cases. Like, I probably caught like, because I didn't have a license, stupid shit like driving without license and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? I get let go. You get let go, you know what I mean? But it wasn't until they was just finally tired and ready to go to trial. And I went to trial, was trying to fight the case with a public defender. That wasn't working out. Finally put the money together, got a paid lawyer, you know, because I didn't want to accept, you know what I'm saying, the first bid they was trying to give me.
What was that? What were they offering you? Do you remember?
I was dumb back then, man. I'm not even going to say dumb. I was just like, you know, there's a chance.
Maybe.
Yeah, there's a chance I could beat it because it's like you didn't catch the thing on me. I'm in a high crime area type thing. Like it could have been anybody's. Right. And then the cop gonna play it and put in his report line, oh, it was warm to the touch. It's the middle of January. Wasn't nothing warm.
Warm to the touch. Wow. I've
never
heard
crazy?
that before.
Yeah, that's how I know it was yours. It was warm to the touch. It's the middle of January, dude. Like,
so you didn't take that plea? Did you end up going to trial or taking another plea?
Yeah, I took it to trial. I did trial by judge.
The bench trial, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I did trial by judge my first trial. And I still kind of got lucky, but not because I didn't know. I ended up copping out technically 5 years. I ended up doing 2 years Mando, South Bay, and 3 years probation.
Okay.
So I still got 5 years out of that one.
Yeah.
So that's what happened when that one. That was my first F.
Okay, so just talk about that first experience. 2.5 years mandatory. only have done weekends before?
Yeah,
I mean,
not 2.5, 2.
I'm sorry.
Like, yo, it was, for lack of better words, it was alright, bro. Like, you go in and you listen to all these stories, all the dudes, oh, you better do some push-ups. I was a skinny dude growing up, you know what I mean? Like, you better do some push-ups, It's like, man, ain't worry about that. Then you catch that bed and you go in there. It's like, yo, for me, it was like high school. It was like everybody was here. Like, we was cool.
Yep, especially you're in your own county. Even when I first started doing time in my own county, it was like, oh, there you been. I haven't seen you for a minute. This is where you been at. And now it's way different. Everything's super locked down. They got everything 20-hour lockdown and everything like that. But
yeah, because my era, when I went to the Bay, my era was the Bay. We was the era right after they shut down Deer Island.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So we was that era. Like, I was one of those kids. I locked up Charles Street before they cut all that down. You still had to put dimes in the payphone and be in the big bullpen and all that. Like, yeah.
And how long were you in Charles Street for?
Again, those things was like weekends.
Okay,
you
that's
know what I'm saying?
You're talking about when you were saying those.
Yeah.
So you said you said F that to the push-ups and the working out? I mean, what were you doing to pass your time?
Man, I wasn't into all that. I was hustling. Like,
Okay.
it was like, what's gonna be what it's gonna be.
Okay.
Like, I never been a scary type dude or nothing like that. But yeah, you have that fear. Like, all right, what's gonna happen? I'm going to jail.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because everybody thinks about the stories, but then when you get there, you really see like, all the homies is here. We chilling.
Yeah. I mean, you make the most of a bad situation. I mean, obviously, you'd rather be on the streets. The streets is streets is where it's at.
Nah,
for sure.
It was smooth. Like, back then in South Bay, you can go to commissary. You get your, you know what I'm saying, cigarettes. We could still smoke back then.
Yeah. Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And once you made it to like the 4 building or something like that, I guess like a street 20. Let's say maybe 2 grams, 1 gram, a bud. Definitely back then it was trail mix. That was a 50. Like, yo, we be chilling. Like, yo, y'all want to get down, get a 50 bag?
Okay.
Like, bet.
So kind of break that down for me. We say the 4 building.
You come in a new man. That's the towers, whatever.
Towers, okay.
Yeah, once you come up out of there, you go to populations, the 3 building.
Okay.
I went to 3-2, drama unit.
Okay.
So I was the birth of drama unit.
Okay.
The year I was there.
And that's that's the nickname they gave to that unit, or?
Yeah.
But there was a lot going on there. What was going on?
Yeah. Dudes used to walk in 3-2. They used to walk in and tap right out, be right at the podium. I'm not staying here.
Really?
No bull.
Because it was like fighting, or?
There was everything going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it a lot of stuff that like carries over from the street? Or is it just people kind of carrying themselves like knuckleheads or testing you, or?
It's a little bit of both.
Okay.
It's a little bit of both. It's jail. You know how it goes.
I know.
It's
how it
jail.
is. I'm trying to break it down for the people who may not know, because I mean, I only got in a couple fights myself, but most of it was from like, I think 2 out of the 3 fights I got into in jail was from the street. It wasn't like no new beef.
Like, I got into a couple fights, nothing too crazy. Really, it was a thing like, yo, dudes want to know if you're going to defend yourself. You know what I'm saying? And I had to, regardless.
And how old are you at this time? Did that first?
In the Bay?
You're still young,
I was
right?
like 18.
You're doing the Mando, so fair to say, I mean, you weren't involved much in any programs, or did you try to get any programs because you couldn't get the good time?
There wasn't too many programs in South Bay back then. Okay. Nah, you was just locked up. You was there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I think they had, at the most, at that time, the GED program.
Okay.
That's where I got my GED. I got my GED in South Bay, yeah.
Okay, so what made you want to get that?
My
something you
GED?
felt like you should have?
Yeah, I knew I had to have it.
Okay.
Like, yo, I was never no dumb dude. So again, remember I told you, I used to go to English High. And English High back in that time, so when I got locked up, I was in 11th grade. And I wasn't even in English anymore because I messed that up. So again, back then they had a program where you can go to Bunker Hill.
Okay.
Yeah, it was almost like a college prep program. So I went to Bunker Hill, and it was just like mentally, it was just airing me out, right? Because like, you got to take the train all the way to Oak Grove. You know what I'm saying? Get off last stop, go to Charlestown, go to Bunker Hill, sit in a 45, almost an hour and a half minute class. It's just like mentally, I wasn't even really to deal with that. And there wasn't nobody around me telling me like, yo, you're doing the right thing. Stay there, stick, you know what I mean? Stick to that. Like, that's the thing. And the whole thing about the program is if you was able to maintain your GPA, I could have got an academic scholarship to anywhere I wanted to go. Wow. Never was stupid. But again, my school was like Eastside High. Like, well, yo, we used to, there was a store across the street. We used to be out front of the store 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning shooting dice. Right. You know what I'm saying? That type of time. Like, I would come like a half a pound of nickel bags. This is nickel bag days, bro. And be sold out of nickel bags before second lunch.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was like, I ain't going all the way up here. I can't get no money. You know what I mean?
When you say mentally, was it? It's just like the days that you did go. Was it just like, what's going on? You just wanted to be on the block, getting money.
You're just worried about, you don't mean everything you're missing.
The FOMO they call it, fear of missing out.
Fear of missing out. Yeah. That's basically what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I was always a young kid. Everybody knew me. Like, I always had cars. I was that kid, 16, 15, with cars. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was always outside with it.
And that's why you get in trouble, because you didn't have your license at the time, but you still had the cars.
Yeah, we didn't care about license back then. You can write a mass tag on a cardboard box, slap it on a hoopty, and be out.
So you're about to finish that up, right? You got probation, so you got something over your head when you get out. Do you start developing a plan for when you get out that first time?
I still didn't have a plan. I still couldn't get a license because of the laws back then. You had a drug charge, you know what I'm saying? Your license is automatically suspended for 3 years. Just so happens, we run into this dude. He has fake birth certificates, right? And the birth certificates was out of New York. So all you needed back then was a bill in your name to go to the registry and you know what I'm saying, apply for a license. So I put the cable bill in my name. Go to the registry, boom, the thing works out. Now I'm riding all these years on this alias with this license, like really like getting through.
Wow.
Getting through with no problem. It was official.
That's wild.
Yeah. I ended up getting caught up with it. Had to go downtown, sit in the state police building downtown. They wanted to figure out who I really was and this, that, and the third. But the thing that wasn't cool, but what saved me is that I didn't steal nobody's identity. I created one.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying?
Lesser of two evils.
Yeah, it is the lesser of two evils. But again, back then, it really wasn't no problem. It was like, all right, we just want to know who you really are.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So that's how that went.
So when you were wrapping that up, you were pretty much, your plan was just to go back to the streets?
Yeah, it was going back in the streets. Like back then, early 90s, like we was downtown crazy. Like downtown was, that's where you wanted to be.
Down to for the money?
Yeah.
I remember I went to ABCD right there on 178 Tremont, right there in the Commons. Like early, I think 2001, 2002, man. But yeah, downtown was lit for sure.
Yeah, anybody know anything about downtown hustling, like in the zone, like yeah, that's where you wanted to be. I spent a lot of time down there coming up, because it was like easy. Once I got put on to that, it was like, man, yo, this hood money ain't it. It's like little things we selling for dimes in the hood is going for 20, 30 downtown. Yeah. So I'm like, I'm out of here.
And you could just tell people whatever for a name, or as if you're in your neighborhood. People know you. You know what I mean? Like,
you
that's
could,
cool,
but nobody was really rocking off for aliases. Like, you know, you are who you are. You know what I'm saying? It's different time, different time, different era. You know what I mean? So we used to call it the pit. I don't know if how familiar you are with downtown. You remember where the old registry was downtown? That was, I believe it's like Essex Street.
Yeah, not really. I don't think so.
Okay, so if you're coming up where the old registry was, you go down, and to the left is where all the homeless slept. We used to call it the pit. Okay. So we literally go down there, grab a fiend, and have them work for the day. Like everybody had their favorites. I had two. I had a guy and a girl. Yeah. One dude's name was Dave, Big Nose Dave, and the girl we used to call a pickpocket. We used to call her pickpocket. Cause she be in them pockets, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, it was fun back then.
That's funny. Every time I'm like close to people, I always feel like I don't know. I always reach make sure I don't get pickpocketed.
Nah, she used to get them, and people like, yo, you trust her? I'm like, no, but she get that money.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I would kind of like give her whatever she wanted.
Right.
Because I know she's gonna hit a lick, and the first person she's coming back to is me.
Gotcha.
So you know what I mean?
So some people, they might, they do 2 years, they might never get in trouble again. That wasn't the case with you. Why do you think that wasn't enough to deter you to want to like change your life?
Deep down,
your age?
Deep down in my heart, I'm a cowboy. Always have been. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is the way I always felt. I was just always outside.
How much probation you said you had after that?
3 years.
So 3 years, and this is superior probation?
Yeah.
District.
So this is what ended up happening. I was actually indicted on that, right?
Yeah.
But again, I had a decent lawyer at the time. Right, again, paid lawyer. I remember I started off with a public defender, then ended up getting a paid lawyer because I didn't think the public defender was moving enough for me. Again, when I said I didn't take the first plea, which would have stayed in district, I got indicted to superior.
Yep.
But still, out of that, he gave me an option. He's like, because of your age, boom, boom, you got family here, I'll let you go to South Bay. I'm not going to send you upstate. You're still young, da-da-da-da. So, and that's how that happened. So, and I would even call that lucky after knowing what I know now after doing the state bid. I was like, I would have just went up there.
I know.
You know what I mean?
So at the time, though, just explain that mindset at the time. Is it just, let me just take the Bay as opposed to upstate because the upstate is upstate?
Nah, it was. I mean, I was going to jail. I was going to jail anyway. I wasn't thinking about me. I'm thinking maybe the girl I'm dealing with at the time. Just the naive stuff.
Visits.
Yeah. Just being close to family, closer to y'all want to come up and come check me, like.
Absolutely.
But after going through that, like, man, you develop a different mentality. You really start to close off the world. Like, yo, I was one of those dudes. I wasn't the big writer. I wasn't big on being on the telephone and none of that. Like, I used to clown people like, yo, get off the fucking phone, dude.
The stress box.
Yeah, like, I ain't got time for that. I'm doing this bit. I got to worry about this. I got to deal with this. I can't control nothing that's going on in the streets.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's your first time, so you don't know how it's like to do a bid with maybe the TV, the big yard and all that. It's still unknown. So So how long do you last on that 3-year probation?
Shit, I wrapped that bit up in 97. By 2000, I picked up my next case.
Almost a couple years, though.
Yeah.
You're out there running the streets.
So it was like 3.5 years.
And then you pick up the new case. What's the new case? What happens?
That one was firearms.
Firearm?
Yeah, I got caught with a gun and some coke.
And how does that happen? They raid your house or they pull you over? They catch you on the block?
Driving, actually. Coming, I'm driving with my my kid's mother and my kids at the time. And they pulled me over and stopped me, going to be like, oh, we seen your kids bouncing around in the back seat unrestrained.
Wow.
It's like, what? And again, I had the L official. The car was registered and insured and everything at the time. But yeah, that's the excuses they use.
And where did this happen? Was this in your hood?
No, in Grove Hall.
Grove Hall?
I was heading home. I was living on Corona Street at that time.
Like, looking back, what's your opinion on why do you think they pulled that? I mean, I know they do it all the time, but what?
Come on, man, you know what it is. DWB, driving while black.
Yeah.
They did that to me.
They got what they were looking for, though, too, huh?
Yeah.
So what happens? Do they bring you in? Do they arrest you right there on the spot? Bring you to the police station?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was crazy, like, and my kid's mother, she tried to stand up for me. So I had the gun, I had the coke, I had the weed. I was if anybody knows about the 99 Honda Accords, under the gear shift, you could just pull the panel up and tuck shit down. Like, they must have been hip to that too, because they went right in there. And I don't know if someone told on me, but I was never like, I never rode with anybody for anybody to see where I was stashing. You know what I'm saying? They claim they found and seen a piece of the baggie hanging out. It wasn't tucked good. My kid's mother tried to get away with the weed. She had weed on her. She actually, one of the cops that stopped her, she knew. His mother was an old hairdresser of hers.
Okay.
So he knew. He was like, shit, why you didn't tell me it was you? I would have just let you, Get up out of here. They actually end up locking both of us up. Tried to get her to tell on me.
Yeah.
She never did. They pull a whole bull like, oh, you're not going to see your kids no more, this, that, and the third. She was like, well, listen, I don't know where he gets anything from.
Right.
Like, what do you want me to tell you? Even if you do take my kids, I'm going to see them eventually, but I don't know nothing.
Damn. So they bring you both to the police station?
Yeah.
And the kid? What happens with your kid? What, I mean, how does that work?
I don't
Does someone
remember
have
if
to
they
pick
sent them
up?
to, at the time it was DSS. I don't know if they sent them to DSS custody. I don't remember. I had a family member come get them. I actually don't even remember.
Okay.
But all three of my kids were with me that day.
Damn. Did you, I mean, sitting in that cell, did you think about that? Did that cross your mind? Like, damn, I really just got, locked up in front of my kids, and that's, nothing I wanted to do?
Again, I'm still young. I'm in my late 20s, pushing my 30s.
Do they give you a bill, or do they see you're on probation and they hit you with the detainer?
Nope,
You
my
go right to
probation,
jail?
my probation had ended, so there wasn't no violation by the
okay.
time that happened.
So you get a bail then?
Yeah.
What's the situation like with that? Is that something that stays in district court? Does that go to Superior?
Nah, I got indicted. I was predicate felon level 2, looking at the ACC level 2.
I know vaguely what that, just kind of break that down. What does that mean? The predicate?
ACC level 2?
Yeah.
It means you're a predicate felon. So that means you have a combination of 2 felonies, either one drug or one violent, blah, blah, blah. That's how they put that together.
Okay.
So my bail wasn't long. They snatched me right back up, and then I sat there, and then they put a $50,000 on me. I wasn't making that.
And then, okay. And that predicate, that's always, but that's gun charges, right? Is that how that works?
No, it could be a combination of any 2 crimes.
Okay.
Back then, like, let's say you get caught up with some crack or some coke or something, right? That's a felony.
Right.
And you could have even caught, let's say, assault and battery, dangerous weapon. That's 2 felonies, right? And you also have priors. Remember, I just did a bid in the 90s for crack.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So that makes me a predicate felon at that point.
Gotcha.
Yeah, my first plea deal was fucking 12 to 15.
12 to 15.
Yeah.
So you get locked up, $50,000 bail. Now, where are they holding you? Nashua Street?
Yeah, I was in Nash.
Okay, Nashua Street. You get indicted. Same thing. You just said you plead out. So how long until you plead out? And why do you plead out and not take it to trial?
Because it was my shit. I got caught with it. Like, I never been like, you know what I mean? After my first time going through that shit, like, maybe there's a chance I could beat them.
Yeah.
No, it was really yours. Just
go
in there and just work out the best you can, man. Make this ride as easy. You know what I mean? It's
always the first thing okay, what are we looking at? You know what I mean? I went to trial as a juvenile.
I learned, like, yo, I'm not about to play with these people. You know what I'm saying? Again, I try to be slick. Like, all right, let's have a trial by judge, thinking, you know what I'm saying, not going through all that jury thing, don't want to have to deal with an unbalanced jury. Right. Maybe the judge will just have compassion on me, right? That didn't even work.
Okay.
So I was like, yeah, after that, I was just never a trial dude. If you caught me and I know it's mine, I'll just lawyer up and, I'll eat it.
That's what it is. So how long were you in Nashua Street before you plead out to that? Did you say 12 to 15?
No, I didn't take the 12 to 15.
Okay, that was the first offer?
Yeah, that was just the first offer. So I sat in Nash, I probably had like 16 months fighting it. Okay. Finally ended up with a 4 to 5.
Okay, 4 to 5 with 16 months in. So then you're looking at, 2.5 till you see
3.
parole?
Yeah. Exactly.
Ish, right?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So you take your time. Where do you go? Where's the first stop at that point? Because it changes a lot. Was it Concord or?
Yeah, my first stop was Concord.
Concord, okay. Yeah. Now you get up to Concord, just kind of explain what's that like up there?
Like, again, like, I'm part of that trickle down era. So it was like a bunch of old heads, you know what I mean?
They still had, were they doing the 52A thing at that time?
No, I wasn't 52A.
Not you, but in Concord, were there, because when I first went to Concord, when it was class, it was mixed. There was 52As.
I didn't run into too many 52As up in Concord at that time. Or even, I just wasn't even familiar with the term at that time, because I didn't know I was a 52A until I wrapped that bit up, got rearrested, and like, nah, I'm 52A, get me up out of this county, send me back upstate. You know what I'm saying? So you don't really learn about that term until a little bit later on.
Okay. So you go see the class board, classification. Do you remember what that was like? Was it the point system? at the time, and where did they classify you to? Do you
Well,
remember how many
again,
points you might have had?
The point system really had probably just came in place around then. Because remember, prior to this bid, there wasn't no point system when I was in county in South Bay when I did that bid. So technically, I didn't have any points.
Okay.
But my crime.
Your crime, yep.
Yeah.
Your age, all that stuff. Yeah.
At that time, like my crime, when I got class from Concord, what did I get class? Shirley Medium.
Shirley Medium.
Yeah.
Okay. You get the Shirley Medium. How long are you there for? Do you do the rest of your time in Shirley Medium?
No.
Okay, so talk about that. What happened?
I was on tour. I went to
You end up getting in trouble going.
Nah, I didn't get in no trouble. Like, yo, all the things that's probably going on right now, it wasn't even too crazy.
Yep.
It wasn't too crazy. I didn't start getting lugged until I hit pre-release, trying to be out here slipping and sliding. Okay.
So how long are you in Shirley Medium for?
I did like 2 years in Shirley Medium.
And then you saw what, the class board again? And
class board. I went to Palmville from there. You know, again, it's a halfway type situation. Yep. Palmville, outside, messing around, messed up, didn't call in on time, get back, me and the homie, we get lugged back to Concord. Okay. So everything was just like restarting over. Get lugged back to Concord. So, and then I spent time in the L buildings up there, which was actually cool. Like the L's back then was like the best stop.
Those were the dorms?
The dorms.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So why did you like the dorms over the cells?
Cause there ain't no door closing on you. Ain't no door closing on you.
Yep. Okay.
So that was cool. And then, you know, cause when you're in it, like, when you're in the J's and stuff like that, it's just a lot of frustration that's gonna come with. That's when I was crashing out.
The like, half hour to rec times and stuff like that. I remember that.
I crashed out one time. I beat up my roommate. They sent me to the hole. They heard the noise. I was actually trying to play it at the time because when they came to the door, I heard it tumbling. I kind of like had them up in like a body slam or whatever. And I was like, nah, we was horse playing. We tried to get over on the horse playing thing, yeah. Even he was like, nah, we was horse playing. Yep. But they knew what was up.
Yeah, how much time they give you in the hole for that?
20 days.
20 days?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. But I was cool with it, like I'm a solitude type person anyway. It's like, I know it sounds weird, but sometimes when you go to the hole, it's like, yeah, you kind of got a peace of mind.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Nope.
Depending on who else is in the hole. If you ain't in the hole with a bunch of dudes that's making a bunch of noise and being stupid and stuff like that. Like some dudes, like we really just go to the hole just to catch a break.
Yeah. It'd be like that sometimes, man. So now Concord, how long are you in Concord until they send you somewhere else? Again?
Went to Concord, and I actually was able to go back to Boston State pre-release. So I was actually in Boston State twice.
How long in between?
I went to my first one, Palmville, get lugged out of Palmville, back to Concord, end up getting reclassed, and that's when I went to Boston State pre-release.
Okay.
I didn't make it out of Boston State pre-release, got lugged out of there for the same shit, messing around, and then back in Concord again. Yeah. So by that time, I was like pretty much at the end of my bid. When I got parole from Shirley. Trying to get my parole from Shirley, boom, brings me back to I'm only out for 8 days.
Damn.
Yeah.
So you had, once again, what was your plan when you were getting out on parole?
I can't even necessarily, I can't even necessarily say I had one. I didn't really start to formulate a plan until I violated my parole and went back.
So do you think that was part of the reason why you kept coming out and having to go back, was not having a plan?
Yeah, I wasn't putting my priorities together. Right. I know I wasn't.
Yeah.
I know I wasn't. It was like by the time all that happened, I already told myself there's 3 things that I'm going to prioritize: bank account, driver's license, and a job. And I actually did that, and things just worked out best for me by the time I got all that stuff wrapped up.
Okay, so you say you're out 8 days on parole.
Yeah, bro.
What's going on for those 8 days, man? what are you doing? And then how do you end up going back?
Again, like I was actually chilling.
Yeah.
Like I didn't have no issue. It was just, I paroled to one of my cousin's houses, but cause my kid's mother, she had been in trouble. Plus, it was a Section 8. You can't parole to no Section 8.
Yeah.
So I paroled to my cousin's houses and just like going back and forth and just seeing the turmoil the house was in. It's like, nah, it's not my standard of living.
Right, okay.
You know what I mean? It was always a fast money dude. So I just gonna live like that.
So you just said, let me go back and finish out my bid, pretty much? Or
Nah, it wasn't like, let me go back and finish out my bid. It was like, yo, I called. Like I said, I called, got that pack, and I went outside.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because I just wanted to put the household back together. You know what I mean? My kids weren't bummy kids. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, girl, what was you doing while I was gone? You know what I mean? So I just wanted to kind of like put that back together and fix that situation. Okay. But I jeopardized my freedom at the end of the day.
And how did you risk it? I mean, what happened? Did you catch another case or just violate?
No, I caught another case. So again, we're in one of the adjoining neighborhoods, you know what I'm saying, outside of Washington Park. Police pull up, right? I'm in the passenger seat. They open the door. I tried to get slick with them, but it kind of helped me in the long run. So they searching me. They go in my pocket. There's the 8 bags of weed in a brown paper bag. He slaps it on the top of the roof. He's like, "What's this in the bag?" I said, "What did you put in my pocket?" That type of thing. I said,
"Flip it on them."
Yeah. I said, "Whatever you put in my pocket is in that bag." You know what I mean? He was like, No, it was in your bag." Me and the cop arguing, and boom, I push him to take off. I didn't get too far. I've never been a big runner. Like I said, they caught me. I don't do cardio. I can lift weights and calisthenics all day. But running, I ain't doing that. I gassed out on the boulevard. They caught me on the boulevard, chefed me up. It was a wrap from there.
And then parole is a little different than probation. They brought you right back?
Nah, they didn't bring me back. They tried to play me.
What do you mean?
Well, at the time, like the gang unit station was down the street from the boulevard, so they brings me there, try to get me to find a gun or whatever the case may be. I'm like, "So you're bugging?" I say, "Yeah, I've been out for 8 days. I don't know nobody with a gun." They're like, "Nah, you're on parole for a gun. You know people with guns." I'm like, "Nah, I don't. I've been gone for 4 years and some change. I don't know nobody no more. Right? I'm on this type of time." And they're like, "Just get us a gun. We'll let you go." I'm like, I'm not stupid. Like, how can you let me go when there's terror tapes, right? That's the recordings they keep. There's terror tapes saying that you're chasing a suspect. You caught the suspect. They are waiting for me down in B2. I can't be saved. Right. Only way I can be saved, I possibly get some bail.
Right.
And that's how I end up turning my 4 to 5 into 5.5. Because when I get caught up with the weed, now I go back to South Bay because now I got a county case again. Okay. You see what I'm saying? So now I'm back in the county. So now I got to fight this case in the county before I can go back upstate to see parole.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So they didn't violate your state parole and send you upstate?
Nah, it don't work like that. I'm out on parole.
Yeah, because I've never been on parole on state, only county.
If you're out on state parole, I picked up now I pick up a state case, like I said, right? Now I'm in district court. So you're in district court, you're in Suffolk County. So I gotta go to South Bay.
Gotcha.
I gotta go to South Bay and I gotta fight that case before they can send me back to go deal with parole. Wow. So that's what kind of happened.
Okay.
And then come to find out, the shit they was doing, they couldn't do because the state case supersedes a county case. So you have to get me out of here.
Okay.
So they end up non-processing the weed. It was bullshit. It was 8 bags of weed. So ain't really nothing come out of that. But I fucked up.
That still violated, yeah.
It did. It was still an arrest. After they figured out, you know what I'm saying? All right, well, he still got to deal with parole. They just threw the fucking weed case away.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And then so now
it was a misdemeanor.
You're back on parole. Did you got to wrap up the rest of your bid?
Yeah, I got to wrap it up.
What do you got
now.
left? Like a year after sitting in?
Well, nah, it took
for a little bit. Or?
It took a while because shit, just waiting for them to give me a decision on the weed case in South Bay. I sat in South Bay 16 months.
They didn't give you none of that credit towards your parole?
Nah.
Oh, okay. Damn.
Nah. Because the state don't have custody, I mean, at the time. The county does.
Damn.
So I'm not in state property no more. So I sat 16 months in South Bay just fighting the bullshit weed case.
Dead time, yeah. So now eventually you go back upstate, and then where do you finish out the rest of your time?
I got smart. So I'm in back in Concord again. You know what I'm saying? Concord's classification, you start that all over. When they finally came to class me, they wanted to send me to the max. I'm like, well, why you want to send me to the max? I'm already here, I'm working, this, that, and the third. It was like, yeah, and now I got points, right? Because, again, remember I just said I sat 16 months in South Bay, but my last 30 of it was in the fucking hole.
Oh, yeah. So that follows you.
Yeah. They found a blade. We used to call it the mousetrap. We roll a newspaper up, stick the blade in there, and throw it under the door. So they found the blade in the mousetrap.
Yep. Damn.
So that's how I ended up wrapping that up. That last 30 days, that gave me the points. They wanted to send me to the max because I got caught with the knife from South Bay. But I'm thinking, and everybody used to tell me, like, during your bid, if you ever did state bid, some people would tell you, oh, you just go to Plymouth. Because you try to get classed to Plymouth County, they give you the most good time.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Right? Now, again, after doing all these years already in the state, you got your 5 pair of jeans, your sneakers, your TV. Yeah, I ain't about to get out up to go deal with no pod. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I did Plymouth in 05.
Yeah,
I'd rather
Plymouth
be upstate,
was
bro.
Crazy. Them dudes was nutty up there. I mean, it was like.
So is that what happened to you? You took that advice and you went to Plymouth?
Yeah, I finally did it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, because I was tired. I'm like, yeah, I'm ready to get up out of here. I want to wrap this up.
And how long you had to do at Plymouth before you got out?
I had like a year and some change left. It only took me like 9-10 months to wrap it up at Plymouth with the good time. Ate them up.
At this point, is this where your mindset is starting to change?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so what do you think the reason for that was?
I just didn't want to go through that shit no more.
Just getting sick of it?
Yeah.
It gets old. I didn't want to
go through that shit no more.
I mean, I always look at like the first time, first time in county, first time upstate. It's all kind of new, so it kind of. But once you know it and you go back to it, it's just like, oh,
yeah, you don't want to do it no more.
Yeah,
like, dude, when I violated my parole and they took me back to South Bay, now mind you, this is like I want to say 2004. Something like that, 2005, 2006. In between that time, I violated my parole, go back to South Bay. I'm like, damn, everything had changed. Now the bunks is triple bunk. There's 3 people to a cell. Like, these kids is out here. They're literally banging out in these cells, like 4 or 5 of them, a small ass cell. I'm like, oh, they're wow. And after you do that state time, and you notice, like, when dudes be on the block fighting, in the county, COs come break that right on up. Up the way, that ain't happening.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, these dudes, y'all really getting your lives saved right now. You know what you're doing.
Yeah.
I used to tell them. And I knew it was getting crazy for me. Because again, by the time I went back to South Bay again, now they calling me OG. I'm like,
right.
You thinking about it like, damn, I'm OG now. Like, chill.
Damn.
I still feel like I'm young. I'm only like pushing 30.
Damn.
The young kids calling me OG. I'm like, yeah, this ain't it.
And then, so when you get out of Plymouth, that was your last time that you...
Yeah, I ain't been back since Plymouth. That was 2008. Okay. I wrapped up from Plymouth.
So doing all that time, I mean, so, whole time and stuff too, it's a lot of time to self-reflect. Is that something that you did? Did you start to self-reflect and start to... Did you start to like look at yourself and look at your life and wonder where it's going and start formulating a plan this time, or start figuring out what your passions were? Or
no, it was, again, like I got all that together out of Plymouth. Like, I was tired. I was like, yo, this ain't me, man. I ain't gonna keep catching these bids. You know what I mean? And again, that's what I told you. I just started prioritizing everything. I was like, man, just get your job, license, boom. So when I got out, I wrapped up in Plymouth. remember I told you I was in pre-release. I was Boston State pre-release.
Yep.
And one of the jobs that you would work out of pre-release was a car wash job.
Okay.
And I was still cool with them dudes down. At this time, my mentality is, man, like, I don't care if it's a $10, $12, $15 an hour job.
Yep.
I need that. So that's what I did. I was still cool with them. They was like, oh, you wrapped up now? Yeah, you can come back to work. I was like, bet.
Nice.
Yeah. So I did that, secured the license, secured the bank account. I've been off to the races ever since.
That's nice. Was that one of the main things that you wanted to do right when you got out, was to have some sort of employment, some sort of income to kind of?
Nah, bro. Like I again, I didn't worry about nothing. I was always a dude with money. I could get money all the time. Like,
okay.
I was always a dude that got money. I ended up going to barber school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I ended up going to barber school at that time. One day I'm in school and one of my mans come through. Like, real tight, me and my homie. He comes through. I'm like, what you doing here? He was like, oh, I'm coming to see, because he had went to the same barber school too. He's like, I'm coming to see Mark and, the other dudes that ran the barber school, come and get some information from him. I'm like, for what? He's like, I'm about to open a barber shop. I was like, word? He was like, yeah. He was like, you with me? So what you mean, am I with you? Of course. All right, say no more. We got a shop.
Nice.
I was like, bet. So I'm now in barber school, started working in the shop with my homie. His life took a transition. Then I took over the shop. I ran the shop by myself. I owned the shop for 4 years after that.
Shit.
Yeah.
So what got you into wanting to do the barbering thing? Were you cutting hair when you were locked up?
That was another thing. That was something I just always did. Like, I was a young kid, like a couple friends, I would cut their hair and shit like that. Okay. It's just I finally learned how to utilize the skills and talents that I have and make them pay. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. So was that something that you were doing on the inside?
Yeah.
That's a nice hustle.
Yeah. I was cutting with the comb and the razor.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Never made it to the barbershop, so this is what happens, like, especially when you're in, like, Shirley. They had the programs. But in Shirley, their thing, when I was trying to get in the barbershop, go to the barber school there, but they're like, oh, you don't got enough time. I'm like, what? I got 5 years. I'm like, nah, it ain't enough time. They wouldn't even accept you in the barber school at that time until you maybe had like 10 years or better. Right. You know what I'm saying? It was like, you don't got enough time. You can mess around and get classified, and then you're not going to complete or finish it.
Yeah. So how did it feel when you were running the shop for 4 years, and you turned your hustling mentality? You've been hustling your whole life, but now you legitimized it. I mean, did that start to build confidence for you and start to?
I was always confident. It was smooth.
Yeah.
Like, it was smooth. Everybody know about my shop. My barber shop is called Fam First, right on Blue Hill Ave. Okay. Everybody know about my shop. Like, you know what I'm saying? Dudes just to come through my shop, and I had it set up to where y'all could just come in and chill. You know what I mean? No worries.
Yeah, was it like like a community thing too? Like people from the community.
Yeah.
They always, the shops usually have that feeling.
Absolutely.
How much time did you do total? I'm trying to add it up in my head. What, like 8-9 years almost?
About that.
Something like that.
Counting the Mando.
Yeah.
Then I turned the 4 to 5 and the 5.5, and then all the in and out shit. Yeah, it's about 9-10 years.
Is there anything that you learned about yourself throughout that time period?
Yeah, that I'm not from that.
That's not,
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not a monkey. Like, you're a monkey if you keep getting locked up. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
It's stupid.
Yeah, especially
That's what
after
I learned.
A certain age, bro.
I'm better than that.
For sure. I actually have a letter I wrote to myself. I had to go sit for 90 days, right? After being out of prison 7 years, I had to go to county for 90 days, and I just wrote a paragraph like, yo, you're better than it. You know what I mean? I still have it tucked away somewhere.
Really,
but it's
be on that type of time, man. Again, just like you said, when you like kind of like self-reflect, it's like, yo, dude, what the fuck you doing?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And like you said, you're not for that. So, I mean, what about it is like the worst part of prison?
Just being gone. Like I said, I didn't
missing out on freedom.
Yo, I didn't have rough bids. Like, crazy as it sounds, like, yo, I had some of the best days of my life in fucking jail.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. It happens.
It do, bro. Like, yo, when you think about it, it's like some of the things you see, like you only see on TV, you're like, oh shit, that really just happened. Yeah. Like, dudes getting cut by the, you know what I'm saying, the homos and all type of shit. Yo, I done sat and watched all this type of shit. Dudes thinking they tough. The DL dudes, like, I'm just like, yo, y'all get out of here with that, man.
And like you said, you changed that mindset, right? The mentality.
Yeah.
Because you change your thoughts and your actions will change. You know what I mean? You can't change your actions if your thoughts don't change. So I like to emphasize that, of course, a lot. So, but since you've been out, what are some things that you've been doing that you're proud of? Like, what's your proudest moment since you've been out of prison for as long as you have been?
Oh man, there's a lot of them.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a monumental dude. Like, there's a lot of them.
Okay.
Definitely.
Talk about a couple of the highlights.
Owning the shop was definitely one of them.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah. I think a second was one of the jobs I had recently, a couple years ago. You know, hitting that certain pay scale. You know what I'm saying? $40 an hour type thing.
Yeah.
Like, word. Like, now I can do some things.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
To have a little bit more.
Yeah, I did that. Like I said, when I was telling you earlier, I was in the human services space, right? I started off maintenance, then I morphed into maintenance supervisor, and at the time I was doing that. I don't know, like a lot of people don't know, a lot of their jobs, if you go to school and get certified in the trade that's, you know what I'm saying, has to do with the area you're working in, they'll give you tuition reimbursement.
Oh, okay.
So that's what I'm saying, like things like that, I learned to take advantage of that. Like I went to trade school, and my job, they paid for it with the tuition reimbursement.
Yep.
So boom, I got certified, you know what I'm saying, certified technician, stuff like that. It's like, yo, I started figuring out how to like really navigate in this world. You know what I mean? Really like use my credit, stuff like that.
When did you start getting into the credit side of things and utilizing that?
Working there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did someone put you onto it? Is it something you thought about? Or?
Nah, didn't nobody really put me on. It's like, yo, once those consistent checks are coming in, like everybody gets them. They come in the mail, credit offers and stuff like that. And then, you know, you start talking and learning how to like deal and manage your credit.
Gotcha.
It was nothing.
Say you got, you know, we all got people locked up still, unfortunately. So, you know, free them. But say somebody that you really care about just came home today and asked you like for some advice. What advice would you give to them?
I would give them the same advice that I took for myself, man. Prioritize these 3 things. Get a bank account, get a job, get a driver's license.
Yep.
Those 3 things is going to open up so many doors for you right there. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I tell everybody that all the time that I come across, if anybody wants some advice from me, figure out the things that you're passionate in life and make them work and pay for you. Like if you could do it, then why not do it?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No, I thought that's real good advice, those 3 things for sure. For sure. What about, you've done a lot, but the future still holds, you know, many things. What do you got going on in the future? You got any short-term goals that you're looking forward to? Long-term goals?
I got nothing short for me. Everything is long-term.
Long-term?
Right now, like I said, man, everything is about Major Justice Entertainment right now. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, we actually want to be part of seeing some change in the city. One of the things, you know, me and my partner's talking about opening up a DJ school.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying? So one of the other things I do is when I have free time, I just pull my set out and go chill out on you know, on the boulevard in Washington Park and just you know what I mean, curate a vibe.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Sometimes on the boulevard it's lit basketball games, all types of activities go on in the park. And it be peaceful. Everybody's good dudes, you know what I mean? So that's what I'm really on with it.
Why is it important to give out those good vibe situations?
Because you can't receive if you don't give. Period, point blank. So it's just really about, you know, putting a positive vibe out there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Boston got a real bad connotation of negativity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, dudes got to stop that, man.
Why do you think it is? You think it's just been like that for so long and people don't know any different? Or?
Everybody's just out for self. Like, we're living in a year of selfishness right now.
Yeah.
Everybody's just out for self.
Damn.
Yeah. Everybody just want to live in their own space and feel like they're doing everything on their own. But there's no such thing as doing anything on your own. There's no such thing as a self-contained unit. You can think that all you want. I don't care if you say, yo, I built this company from the ground up, but guess what you need? You still need all these other pieces to help you move it.
Yeah.
So you're not doing it by yourself.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, it was your idea, cool, but you need all these other elements to help this thing work.
Absolutely. Say everything goes the way that you plan, ideally. Where do you see yourself in 5 years from now in your DJing or whatever it may be, even personally?
Well, really, like having a couple, I want to say, since I'm a felon, right? Unless I backdoor it and get someone around me who can, you know, get a liquor license, and I have enough money to obtain a liquor license. Yeah, I want to be in that space, maybe a bar or something like that. But the lesser to that is having function rooms. You know, you can rent my function room for your repasses or your, you know, baby showers and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm really on that type of time.
Wow, yeah.
That's what I'm trying to move on to next.
That's what's up, man. What was the main message that you wanted to get across today telling this story?
That you don't have to keep going back to jail, first and foremost. Again, like, yo, I've been out 17 years, bro. Yeah, 17 years.
That's amazing.
And ain't been back in court with no crazy nothing. Like, it could happen. Like, if you really, you know what I'm saying, change your mindset and just do what you got to do, grind. Like, whatever you're doing out there, get your money, go in the house. Stop being outside playing around. You know what I'm saying? That's my thing. So, yo, things can happen, man, if you really think about it like that.
What do you think is, like, the main reason why, like, some people just can't manage to stay out? They always go back, man.
Yo, I've been trying to figure that out for the longest time, man.
It's just, some people ain't right. The recidivism rate is, like,
it's stupid.
Crazy.
It's stupid, and that's another thing. I didn't want to be part of that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be one of those dudes been going back and forth.
Yeah.
It's like, yo, how many times you got to get locked up for you to learn?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, absolutely, it's crazy for me. It's like, when I finally wrapped my bit up, and again, I changed my mindset, just like you said, yo, within 2 years, right? I'm in business with a partner. All these other things is happening, and I'm just really kind of like running circles around a lot of dudes that's already been outside. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy.
Sometimes, you know, people get out, they feel like they got to play catch up, but a lot of times people who've been out here ain't doing nothing, so you don't have to catch up to much.
That's the problem right there. That thing right there, you said, catch up. You're just going to run into a brick fucking wall.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, never mind trying to catch up. Yo, just move on and move forward.
Yeah.
Try something different. You know what I'm saying?
Be open-minded.
Yeah, you try that catch-up shit, that only means you just going back to the same people, places, and things.
That's facts, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
You're going to crash out every time.
I know you said you don't do, like, the short-term goals, but you got anything coming up in the short term, any events or anything like that people could go to, or anything that you wanted to promote as far as that goes?
Yeah, no, everything's on my social media. Wherever I'm at, you know what I mean? You can just go on my social media. You know, this is all the short-term, interim type things. Just go on my social media. I'm going to post the flyers where I'm going to be, clubs. And I can say it, but I don't want to say it because I'm not promoting these people's businesses to that point.
That's fair.
Yeah, they see this on YouTube. That's going out to the world. They ain't paying me to promote for the world. But yeah, just check out, you know, go to my Instagram, Lassalle ATH. I'm always posting. Or John Justice Jones on Facebook. I'm always posting. So all my short-term things are on those platforms. You feel me?
Why was it important for you to want to come up here and share your story? Why
it wasn't even just about the story, bro. It's like, yo, you got something real good going on right here. You understand what I'm saying? And it's all about authenticity, right? We look at all these other YouTube platforms and stuff like that. When they think about Boston or Massachusetts, they don't think we like those other cities. You know what I'm saying? But we have some real ones out here. You know what I'm saying? And we are from a town that if you don't know what you're doing, you're going to lose your life. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it's about being in an authentic space. Right. You know what I mean? Yeah. No, so that's what it is for me, man. Like, ever since I've been checking out your podcast and your program, I was like, yo, I like what he's doing for the town. Not even just the town, just the state in general. Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, I know a lot of people out your way, man, from the coast to the port. I know a few people out here. Like I said, I spend a lot of time out here working. A few of my peoples I grew up with ended up coming out here hustling, all types of things.
Oh, yeah, there's always been money out here.
Yeah. You remember, they used to call us back in the day. We was the over-the-bridge dudes.
Right.
You remember that?
Yep.
No, we was the over-the-bridge dudes. We wasn't really liked, but it was a few of us that still managed to come out here and do our thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely, man. So if there was anything else that you wanted to touch on, I guess before I let you go, that maybe we didn't get a chance to talk about, or even just some closing words for the audience at home, man?
Nah, I'm smooth, man. I just want everybody to look out for Major Justice Entertainment,
Absolutely.
man. You know, that's really the type of time in the movement I'm on.
That's what's up, man. And congrats on all the success you've been having, and even just being out for so long, man. You creeping up on 20 years, man. It's gonna come soon enough, man.
It's really a thing.
It's a dope thing, man.
And
I'm glad to have you up here because people need to see that. Not everybody just is gonna be back. You know what I mean? It's gonna get out and do the same thing. People do change. Some people just need the opportunity. You know, so.
Some people can also create the opportunity for themselves.
Yes.
Again, like I said before, man, like, yo.
I mean, you pretty much have to create it for yourself.
If you got talents and you got passions, you need to utilize them things, man. Make them work for you.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Stop fighting against the universe. The universe is telling you to go in that direction, then go ahead and do that.
Absolutely. It's not just going to come out there. Like when opportunity knocks, it's a light knock, and you got to be listening for it. If you're not listening for it, you can miss an opportunity, miss a blessing, and whatever it may be. So once again, I appreciate you coming through. Guys, thanks for tuning in to the Bounce Back Podcast. I'm your host, B. Luke. That's my man Justice right there. And guys, remember, it is what it is. What's next is what you make it. On that note, man, we out of here. Thanks again. Bounce back, ain't got a moment.